Well, hello there, my friend. My name is Jonathan Doyle. I am really pleased you are here. Thanks so much for dropping by. This is the Catholic Teacher Daily Message, and you are welcome here. Please make sure you've subscribed, hit those subscribe buttons, and go and check out all the links below. There is a link to the podcast version. There is a link to booking me to speak live. It is all under there, so go check it out. Today, I want to share with you a little quote about hope. Because if you turn on your computer or you watch mainstream media for more than about 30 seconds, it is very easy, my friend, is it not, to convince yourself that the world is going to Hades in a handbasket, that there is nothing but problems and darkness ahead. But the good news is that greater is He who is in you than he who is in the world. All right, so the grace and the power of God that is within you, that is yours by right of baptism and faith, is greater than anything that threatens us in this world. Isn't that good news? So let me share with you this quote. It's a good one. Hope is believing in spite of the evidence and then watching the evidence change. That is a really cool quote. I want to talk to you a bit about hope. Last week, Karen and my girls were away. They had to attend a funeral in another part of the country. So myself and my son were home. We had like a week. He was at school, and I gave myself a kind of retreat at home. It was amazing. I had this beautiful few days. And one of the things I did in this retreat was I was reading the famous book, Life in the Lordship of Christ by Raniero Cantalamessa. Now, Cantalamessa he's a cardinal now. He is in his 90s, I think. He's the preacher to the papal household. So he's the guy that gets to give homilies to the Pope, right? So you'd want to be on your game. And this incredible book is a real spiritual classic. And there is a section in this on the resurrection, and it finishes focusing on hope. And it really affected me. It was kind of the last thing I got to read in my little home retreat, and I was profoundly moved by it. It was this idea that without hope, nothing can happen. Without hope, we can't move forward. Without hope, people sicken and die interiorly. And you see in our world at the moment this crisis of nihilism, this crisis of mental health and well-being, anxiety, depression, because part of it is this great lack of hope. Even if you look at some of the demographic trends, particularly in the developed world, the argument is that it can have a lot to do with an existential, culture-wide crisis of hope. Why have kids? Why have a lot of kids if the world is getting worse and worse and worse? So you can see how lack of hope can touch on all these different spheres of our life. But what a great quote today. Hope is, believing and then waiting for the evidence to change, right? Is like ignoring what's in front of you and believing. So it's a theological virtue, right? Faith, hope, and love. It's also a cognitive virtue. I've really learned that hope is something we have to practice. You have to practice hope. You do hope. You think hope and speak hope, even if it isn't there manifesting right in front of you. And the other reason I wanted to share this message today is simply because I think our students could do with some hope. I think they are really inculcated into a worldview at the moment of conflict and war and loss and stress, and people hit them with all this climate stuff, and they're just like thinking the world's going to catch fire and the clouds are going to fall out of the sky tomorrow morning. Personally, I think we as a culture, we are indoctrinating our kids in fear and anxiety, and we need to get much better at doing it at hope. I need to do it as a father. We need to do it as educators. And what is the hope? Well, the Christian hope is the resurrection. The Christian hope is the good news that Jesus Christ has opened the way home to the Father. So we can tell our students that, life's going to be challenging, there's going to be difficulties, but we're never abandoned, we're never alone. I'm recording this around Pentecost. Christ promised, he said, I have to go because if I don't go, I can't send you the advocate. I can't send you the Spirit. He promised that the Spirit would stay with the church and that he would be with us until the end of the age. That is a good reason to hope that no matter what things look like, there is always hope because Christ has conquered death and he has reopened the path home to the Father. That's good news, right? So let's be people of hope. Let's go back into our classrooms and radiate as much hope as we can into the lives of young people that desperately need to hear it. All right, please make sure you've subscribed. Go check out all the links below here if you want me to speak to staff, students, parents. Check out the booking links. My name is Jonathan Doyle. This has been the Catholic Teacher Daily Message, and you and I are going to talk again tomorrow.